What's good, everyone? What's good, everyone? Yeah, I want to talk about consumption and how consumption is not good. And all you niggas could be like, "Oh, we need to consume, and we all need to do." At the end of the day, do what you want to do. Like I always say in my videos, this message is only for a few people. I'm not speaking to everyone. Not everyone can be a breatharian. Not everyone has the ability to be one. Um, it's like there could be a puddle of water and some mud and scorpions in there. There's going to be some people who choose to walk through it and some people who don't. If you do choose, you're going to have to go through the pain, the suffering, and all the other shit. And then some people, they can't even walk through it because they got health issues, they got problems. Maybe they too much of a pussy, but at the same time, nigga, if you're able to cross over that, then you get the reward. That's pretty much what I'm speaking on. Like, everyone has the ability to do what they want to do, but not everyone's going to do it. And to be honest, when it comes to breatharianism, not everyone can do this. So I'm not speaking to everyone. Some of you guys need to eat. Some of you guys need to consume. This is why there's fruits, there's vegetables, there's shit like that. For if you want to still consume, but you want to do it in a healthy way, you have those things, which is good. So consumption, though, when I say consumption is the devil, I'm speaking to a select few of people. If you're not that select few and you know who you are, if you're a type of nigga, well, we need to consume, or well, but shut the fuck up. You're not who I'm talking to, nigga. Go do your thing. I'm talking of the select few. Any type of consumption is evil. And I'm not saying that you guys can just not consume. I don't want to say any type of consumption is evil. Consuming quality content, consuming um energy, exercise, knowledge. So me doing these videos and you consuming the knowledge and doing that, there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't want to say all consumption, but consumption of external things is the devil. And what I teach, I don't teach like if you are addicted to video games, if you're addicted to fucking, if you're addicted to just bullshit, I'm not gonna tell you to just stop doing it. Especially if you haven't done it before or you don't do it as much. Like I'll say get it out your system, do it, burn it out, and have fun. But when you are to that level, then I'll be here waiting, and people like me will be here to take you to the next level. So I'm not telling. This is not a path where you're miserable, you're sad. Oh, I wish I can eat this pizza, but I don't want to eat it. And nigga, if you want to eat, nigga, go ahead and eat. What I'm telling you is like, because everything. Don't copy me and fuck around and you end up developing an eating disorder. You end up developing depression, anxiety because you're stressed. Like, no, nigga, we chilling. People who understand me, we chilling. So this is why I say this information is not for everyone. So if you know who you are, then take the information. But all consumption is of the devil. All consumption is of the devil. A lot of you niggas be, oh, you drank. Bitch. A breatharian means consuming very little or nothing at all. It takes, on average, this is not a textbook, because when we talk about spirituality or anything that's non-Masonic and all that bullshit, there's no textbook and time limit. But the average breatharian, from documented of what we've seen, takes 15 to 20 years to become a full breatharian. That doesn't mean it takes them 15 to 20 years for them to be a liquidarian or to eat once a month or twice a month. No, that shit can take less than 2, 3, 4 years. But to be sustained off just food, with no water, and just the not even air, because you ain't being sustained off air, some other shit. But to be sustained like that shit takes at least 15, 20 years. And in the process of 15 to 20 years, you're gonna eat less, you're gonna go on liquidarian, you may go on all vegan. Maybe some of you niggas may not even do that. You just go straight to birth. There was this one girl, she watched my channel. What's her name? Alila. I don't know if I think she's still watching my video, because every now and then I'll see her comment. Back in 2020, and it's funny because literally like the month, well, I don't really want to get into that, but pretty much she she never ate shit. And this is back before I was really on my breatharian shit. And I remember she told me she didn't eat. So, and when I look back, I could tell like the universe put that individual in my life to show me a lot of things. So like when I look back and I see this individual didn't eat nothing, and then where I'm at now, it made me realize, okay, the universe put that person in my life. And that it also showed me that anybody can take on this path quickly. Anybody can be anywhere on this field. Don't, when I say 15 to 20 years, don't think that, oh, you have to, oh, it's a textbook or you have to get there. And nah, because shit, anything can happen. That's why I don't be into limitations. But a breatharian is somebody who eats very little or nothing at all. In order for you to get to nothing at all, it's gonna take it's gonna probably take you 15 to 20 years to get to that point. But you will get there if you keep doing what I'm doing. Because the way you get there is through meditation. That's why it takes so long, because you're building up energy, cultivating through what they call qigong, prana, all that other shit. It's not called that. That's what this fucking cracker called it. Because I don't even know why they will even name it or study it, because the cracker never ever participated in that. And any cracker that did participate in what they call prana, chi, and qigong, it wasn't a part of a bloodline, because it was probably part of the white people who they don't fuck with. Because any person that's part of that bloodline, they can't tap into that energy. Otherwise, they wouldn't look the way they do and be the way they are. So they can't tap into it. And one of the main reasons they can't tap into it, well, the main reason they can't tap into it because they genetically inferior. But another reason they can't tap into it is because they have a lot of material and resource. So a lot of the average Mason, the average person who runs this system, or they're on a high level, they're very depressed. They're very miserable. So when you're a depressed, miserable person, and you have a lot of resource, it's easy to cloak yourself in the illusion that you're not depressed and everything's good, because they need something external. So these are the type of people who they'll be like, oh, everything is good, I'm chilling, my life's good, everything's good. But when you look at their daily habits, they can't just sit in a spot and just stare and just be peace with themselves. They have to be here, they have to buy this, they have to get this to consume this. So it makes it harder for them. Even I still, like, you see a lot of these Masons with like prostate cancer and all these diseases and lung issues and problems, because they suffer with this behind closed doors, is because they can't take this knowledge, because they have so many addictions and habits, and they have a lot of money at their disposal. So they can't, it's hard for them to be disciplined when it comes to their health, to not eat this or do this, for the most part. And not only that, they have a lot of karma where even if they were to take care of their health, because some people need to have cancer, some people need to have prostate cancer, some people need to be raped. And I'm not saying good people, I'm saying there's evil people who need to go through this. And when you try to circumvent what you're supposed to, let's just say you have a health issue and you're a Mason piece of shit. If you try to heal yourself, there's going to be you say you successfully heal yourself, there's going to be something else. Or even when you do heal yourself, when you die, you're going to still have to face your problems. So all of that shit be for nothing. It's not like health is not about just taking care of the body. Health is about spiritual evolutionary growth. It's everything. So this is why you'll see some people, they'll eat healthy, but they'll still develop cancer, because they were something else they were supposed to do in life and not eat healthy. Just like you're supposed to quit drugs, you're supposed to quit this and that. That nigga was supposed to probably do something else, and he was so lost in the illusion of wanting to be healthy, because that's an external material thing, health in the body. And so when you're looking at it from, oh, I want to be healthy, and your intentions on being healthy is something negative, then you're still gonna get this is what happened. This is an example of somebody who eats healthy and they have cancer, or they may have a disease, or they're not, and they eat, hello, I ate healthy, and this person, the reason for that, because they weren't, so they looked at health from an external point of view. So the same way a fucking incel faggot piece of shit looks at a PlayStation 5, oh, I love PlayStation, I love games, it's the only thing that understands me, my family doesn't. That's how that person who got cancer from eating healthy, they looked at health. They looked at health as like, oh, they overly looked at it as a material thing. So this is why you don't want to do that, because when you do that, this leads to people getting cancer and diseases um after taking care of their health. Or you may end up in a situation where you may be dying from a health issue, and then you heal yourself, and then you get in an accident or something else happens, and then you're like, why does one thing happen after another? When one thing happens after another, that means something you didn't do something right. So it's not one thing happening after another. Is nigga that one thing that happened after the other thing, they're connected, but you're too stupid to realize it. So how you simplify this is stop consuming. Try to stop consuming. I'm not saying to stop consuming right now today. I'm To be honest, in order for you to become a breatharian or become somebody who's a liquidarian or somebody who consumes very little, you have to consume. You can't tell a drug addict who's off fentanyl, who's withdrawing, just to stop cold turkey. When they go to rehab, there's certain methods and procedures and processes they go through for people who have that problem. They don't just do cold turkey because they'll kill somebody, hurt somebody. So it's the same with. So I'm not, when I say get rid of all consumption, I'm saying get rid of all bullshit consumption. Like if there's fucking shit you don't need, don't use it. And if you want to make an excuse on why you want to use it, then go ahead and use it. But don't get mad when life doesn't go your way. A lot of reasons why a lot of you niggas can't get the success and the things you want in life. And this success doesn't mean money. Like success to me is not money. When I see somebody with a lot of money, I don't look at that as success. Success to me is happiness, joy, content, being peaceful within myself. There's nothing more than I want than that. I will give up. I will turn down $1 billion just to have my own peace and happiness. Because at the end of the day, you don't own $1 billion. That money system, that what you think is success, that's owned by somebody. That's why they have to put God, in God we trust, because they want you to think that anything that has to do with money or synthetic success is correlated to God, which we already know that's bullshit, because you see content creators out here dropping jewels and knowledge, but then they get blocked. But then you may see some bum ass nigga like DJ Academics or fucking Kai Cenat, that fucking ugly, burnt, nappy headed, dreaded piece of shit. You got a nigger like, not even a nigger like that piece of shit. And he's not talking about nothing but fucking how he likes to fucking groom children in Roblox and have sex with them secretly and get a hard on off that. That's all he talks about. All his videos is about children and fucking kids in Roblox. Like, and he gets a lot of money and fame from that. So how does that happen? But then people dropping real information, they don't. So that's how. And then when you look at the money, it says "In God we trust." But then you'll have a stupid nigger like him thinking about, "Oh, in God we trust. In God we trust. God must have blessed me with my." Like you have some spiritual people like that stupid nigger Black Magic niggas like him. And I like to give you guys examples of real people. I don't care about calling people out, nigga. They can, if they got mad, if they have a problem with me, they can say my name, and I don't think they're gonna want to do that and give me clout. So that's why I disrespect all the top YouTubers, because what do they gotta do? They can say my name, bitch. But when you have bitch ass niggas like that, people like that think they're spiritual. They think they're special. They think they're somebody when it comes to spirituality. As far as these Masons and Jews, you are somebody to them. That's why they chose you to be in that position. The fuck? Like, you're not going to choose somebody you don't fuck with. Like, so obviously you're somebody to them, but they're miscorrelating it, thinking there's something spiritual, where in the reality is like, nigga, if you want to judge it on spirituality, nigga, your ass is in hell. Because if a Mason or Jew chooses you to be a puppet, you should be, that shows you your spirit is far from what they call God or all possibility, if you want to say that. You're far from the source. You're far from the focal point. You're like this, like the people in Africa starving to death, and all those children in all those villages. They're far from what they call God. That's why they're suffering like that. So you need to understand, these people who are puppets don't look at the money and the way everything looks, because that has nothing to do with being far. If anything, you could have a lot of money and be farther from that energy than somebody who has less money. And they're still far, but they're not as far as you, because you got more money. The further you're away, the more of the illusion looks like you're not. Like it's that deep. So when you see niggas like him, people, they think they're spiritual because, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and I got that. But it's like, no, nigga, you're not spiritual, because the God that you think is helping you. Because when niggas think they're spiritual and they're granted with blessings and shit, it's all correlated to God. So why in the fucking money it says "In God we trust"? Because the God that you trust in is the system. So this is why I tell you niggas, like, everything you think is good isn't good. Like, even like when I used to tell you guys, when I used to shoplift and steal, that's not good. I don't want nobody to shoplift. I'm actually glad they make it harder for people to steal. It needs to be hard for people to steal, because if people were able to get free things and steal based upon the consciousness of humanity, everybody will probably be dead. Because everybody, like, let's just say the fat ass bitch who weighs 320 pounds and she looks like a fucking rhinoceros. If everything was free, or she was stealing everything and didn't pay for nothing, instead of going to the store and only buying one cupcake because it costs too much money because inflation, she will probably buy 10. So she'll probably be dead sooner. The nigga who goes to the weed shop and only buys one joint, they'll buy a whole ounce every time and smoke a whole ounce to the face. So their diseases and cancer and all these problems will accumulate more. So it's good that they're actually making it hard to steal, because even with technology, a lot of the technology, a lot of the Bluetooth and all of these expensive things you see, they have a lot of radiation, and it fucks with you and it fucks with your health. So in a way, it's good that things they cost money, because if they didn't, people would probably be dead sooner. The life expectancy, if everybody lived like a billionaire in terms of resource and what they wanted, life expectancy would probably be cut less than 80 or 70. It'd be like fucking 50, because everybody would be consuming. Because when I look in life, I see homeless people that are like old crackheads. But then when I see some people, they never were homeless and they just work corporate, and then they'll be dead at age like 60, 70. And I'm like, how is a crackhead on the street who's in a homeless shelter, he's living to like 80? These niggas living the same age as these other people. It's because a crackhead, there's some days they couldn't get crack because they couldn't afford it. There's some days they couldn't eat because they couldn't afford it. It's good to not eat. So a homeless person, this is why you see a lot of homeless people, they walk around a lot, and you're like, how the fuck is this nigga survive? Because they walk around a lot and they don't eat, because they only eat when it's absolutely necessary, because they don't have money to just go eat. A fat ass nigga who works at Chase Bank on his lunch break will get 20,000 plates when he should have just got one, because he's a fat ass, because he can afford it. So this is why I'm to this. And if you don't believe me, look at a homeless person. Look at a person who works at a corporate field. A homeless person isn't dying unless they OD. Unless they OD off a drug, which people OD off fucking Tylenol. But unless they OD, they're not dying. Like if it's a natural death, a drug addict won't die. The only way a drug addict dies is because of an overdose. Peep fucking game. You will hardly see a drug addict die because of a complication. And if you do, it's no different than somebody else. And when they do die, it's going to be around. You will never see a drug addict die under the age of 60 from complications. If they die under the age of 60, it's because of they overdosed. So it makes you kind of think, like, what's killing the people? Is it the drug? Because a nigga who's doing drug, this is why they have to make fentanyl and all this shit, because the fentanyl is so much stronger and fucks you up. But even then, if you spiritually have intentions and you want to get healthy, then the spirit will protect you from having overdoses. If the spirit knows you got potential, it's gonna save you from having an overdose. It's gonna be like, oh, the time where you should have had one, it won't, or whatever. Not even with just drugs, with anything in life. So you gotta always keep game and understand that. But I don't. That's why I say it's good that they locking everything down for stealing, because even when I was like taking shit, I'm all like, every day I'm supposed to do my fast, I'm supposed to cleanse, I'm supposed to do this, or I'm supposed to do that, and I'll go and I get something. It'll be all predicated because I don't have to pay for it. But if I had to pay for it, I would have been like, I'm gonna make do without it. So like that's why I'm saying it's good that they're cutting down on this, the theft and the stealing. Like I'm actually for that shit. Because at the end of the day, that's why when I see people complain about food and not eating, I be laughing. I'm like, nigga, like this shit's actually working in my motherfucking favor, or people who like me. I don't care about food. I've seen this nigga's video, and shout out to I'm not gonna give no shout outs. I don't give no other channel a shout out about mine or anybody who fuck with my channel. But I was watching this nigga's channel, and he's talking about how and this funny thing is this nigga lives in my city. He lives in my city. He's another one of the he's an individual on YouTube. I'm not gonna name his channel, but he lives in my city, and he doesn't know, like I don't like talk to him behind. I just seen his channel, and fucking he was talking about how he went to the fucking store and 2 tomatoes cost $5. And I'm thinking like, but at the same time he has kids. So I'm not gonna go too hard. This is why I don't want to have kids. This is the main reason I don't want to have kids, is because I don't want to get back in the food matrix. I'm leaving the food matrix. I'm getting out of it. I'm not saying I'm full breatharian. It takes 15 to 20 years on average. But before that, there's different levels like liquidarian, whatever. But I'm getting out of the food matrix. So why would I want to have fucking children? And I don't even want to say that's the reason I want to have it, because that would be kind of too much of a broad statement. I will say the system is the reason, because food has nothing to do with shit. Food should be free. So we're in a system where food costs money. So it's really not even the food, it's the system. Because I don't mind going to harvest food and do shit if I had a family or a system that was there and you didn't have to pay for food. So that's not, I don't want to say that's the problem, but it's the system that is the main issue of why I don't want food. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, people complaining about food and whole shit's expensive. And I'm sitting here like, because there was times I would say shit like that, but like certain things, sometimes like when I speak, some of the things, not a lot, but some of the things I say, I will say based upon like a program. I don't really say it because I truly mean it. Like I will say, oh, I'm not like the other, like an example. I made a video saying I'm not making YouTube no more because of views. The reason I said that, because subconsciously I see other people say that, so it kind of seeped in and I just said it, but I don't really mean it, because I'm not like, I don't give a fuck. Like what I really thought about, I was like, that's not the reason I'm not making it. And the reason I just didn't want to make no views because I was pissed they fucking blocked my channel. What's up with it? Yeah, hold on, I'm on the phone real quick. I'm on the phone real quick. You need anything? Oh, yeah. Oh, it was OG. He was just asking me and shit. But yeah, bro, this shit's crazy. You guys gotta understand, like, what the fuck is going on? Shit's going on. Like, you guys gotta understand. I forgot to miss my point. OG kind of threw me off. But shout out to OG. And it's funny because that nigga, he an alcoholic and shit. And I gave that nigga 211. Well, it was 2 tall cans. Like a couple weeks ago, I gave him 2 tall cans and shit. Like, I don't give a fuck if you drink, nigga. I go and I hooked him up. I didn't pay for that shit, so I didn't care. I just seen him and I hooked him up and shit. Because the nigga, he came up to me, right? He's like, anybody, he came out, the way I met this nigga was, he came up to me and he's like, hey, bro, if anybody gives you any issues, I got the thing. He just pulled out a fucking gun. I'm like, what the fuck? Cause I'm like, I don't really get down like that. And he pulled out a gun. I was like, what the fuck? I was fucking cracking the fuck up. Because this nigga, he kind of crippled and shit. Like, he can't. That's why I say, don't be fucking with anybody. Because he looked crippled and shit. And I'm like, damn, I feel sorry for somebody who comes and they think he's weak and they come try to take advantage of him. And they get a surprise of their fucking life. So I'm like, it kind of made me think, because I learned from everything. I'm like, don't fuck with anyone, because even if it's somebody who's a cripple, nigga, they could be packing something and be blast your fucking ass. But anyways, like I was saying, like it's good that first thing you want to just get rid of all consumption. Make that your main mission. Your goal. Consume less, eat less, consume less, and then when you start doing this, you start needing less. But the way the thing that makes this so much more easier is energy exercise. And when you do that, that's really any breatharian or anybody who's consuming less. There's this one female, she's on Instagram. I've said I'm not gonna name no names, so I'm not gonna name no names, but she teaches breath work. She teaches breath work, not Qigong, but breath work. I remember she did like an 80-day fast, and I was like, this is before I was really getting the fast, and I was like, God damn, 80 fucking days? What the fuck is this bitch doing? And when I looked at it, she was doing breath work, but she never correlated the two. So after I started doing breath work and Qigong, I started realizing how easy it is to do the fast. But just because it's easy doesn't mean it's easy. Like, there's different levels. There's hunger pain. That's the first level. Like, when you guys don't eat, you feel hunger pain, and then you want to eat or you feel a craving. That's pretty kind of the easier part. I don't want to say none of it's easy, but that's the easier. Once you get past that, then you got to go to the mid. Like, I passed the hunger. I don't get hunger pains no more. Anytime I eat, it's because I mentally crave it. So it's like the same way, like, you don't need marijuana, you don't need alcohol, but yet people still do it. Why? Because they crave it mentally. So when you've been eating since you were born, because food is a drug. Your parents got you hooked when they were putting food in your stomach when you were young. So when you're eating, you're gonna eventually, when you're eating, you're gonna get. Goddamn, I missed my point there. But what the fuck was my point at? Fuck, I missed my point. Hold on. Okay, I get it. Anytime I eat, I'm mentally craving it. I'm not just because there's different levels. There's the physical hunger pain, which that goes away after like a year or less than a year of you fasting, doing the energy work and consistency. Then there's the mental craving where you've been programmed since birth. So you guys don't understand. Like I remember I was on a 7-day fast, and I remember I fucking there was a bottle of like lemonade, and I opened up the bottle. This was like back in the beginning of my fast. When I opened up that bottle, and I'm telling you guys are at the beginning stage too, most of you guys. So when I opened up the bottle, I took a sniff. Once you go on a fast for like 7, 8, 9, 10 days and you smell food, it's like a high. It's like you start having these memories of when you were young. Like I remember I smelled fucking like I don't even eat pizza. I hate pizza, but it reminded me when I was young. So I was fucking I haven't ate for like 10 days. I was craving pizza and shit. And I don't eat that shit. But then when I broke my fast, and after I broke my fast, I ate some shit, and I tried eating pizza because my family, they had bought pizza. I threw that shit up. I didn't like it because it was my mind that was making me crave certain things. And even like into this day, like I'll go into a store and I may see some cake. Like the other day, I seen some cake, right? And I don't eat sweets no more. Every time I eat sweets, it hurts my stomach and it tastes nasty. But then in my mind, I was like, oh man, I want some cake. And then I went and it smelled good. But then when I ate it, I didn't like it. It tastes like shit. So I was like, this is what I'm saying. There's different levels of it. Like there's a lot of programming. You have to deprogram yourself, because the reason why you guys eat isn't just because you're eating because you're hungry. That's a large portion, but there's I'll say 50% is because you're hungry, probably 60, 70%. The other is because of a mental craving. And you crave the fuck out of it because it's not that you crave it, it's a program. Because you don't like most of the shit in life you don't like. You don't like. Desires, just like you can obtain a desire, you can lose a desire. Like at one point, let's just say your favorite food is pizza. At one point, you didn't like pizza. There had to have been a time you tried it and said, I liked it. So at one point, you didn't like it. So just like at one point, you didn't like it, why do you think they have an acquired taste? People who drink alcohol, acquired taste. Just like you can like something, acquire something, you can de-acquire. This is why they have the acquired taste. There's no such thing as acquired taste. You got an addiction. It's an addiction. What do they say? You got an acquired habit. I don't like doing crack, but I just snorted a lot of coke. You got an acquired habit. That don't make no fucking sense. It's an addiction. So when you got these acquired tastes, this is all because you're not supposed to have any of this shit. This is an addiction. And you were addicted through the first time you were addicted through you being in your mother's womb and her eating and then that consuming. Because if your mother was breatharian and you weren't, and then we were trained to not eat, and your mother was breatharian and you didn't eat, then it will trickle down to you. This is genetically over time. And I'm not saying human beings shouldn't eat, but the reason human beings eat is because they're drug addicted and they need it to survive. Otherwise, they'll withdraw and die, or they want to eat for pleasure, aka like a breatharian, and what most people do. You're eating for pleasure. So I'm not saying food shouldn't exist. The only reason food should exist is so people don't die from withdrawal who are hooked onto it, and you can have a pleasure. Anybody that talk about dietitian or dietary like it's health is a piece of shit, and they're an idiot. Why do you think the word has die? Dietary, diet, die. You're going to die if you eat. Any type of consumption, you're going to die. The reason why they call it diet is because you can lessen the time limit you die. So instead of dying at age 70 from eating McDonald's every day, you could die at age 90. And I'm not saying people say, oh, we're supposed to die. You're never supposed to die from a health issue. You're supposed to die from an accident, or just say, or your heart just stops, your organ stops. So the spirit's like, okay, we had enough in this life, and then you just drop dead, or you die in your sleep, or maybe you get in an accident or something. Depending if it was karmically, you had a karmic type of death where that doesn't mean good or bad karma, but just karmically, and maybe it was an accident, somebody shot you or something. That's how you're supposed to die. Or you're supposed to just drop dead when you're sleeping and you're in a dream. Because when you're in a dream, you could be having an astral dream, and then you're doing something in the astral or in the dream, and then based upon the work that you've been doing on this life, you carry that on in the dream world. And then depending on what you're doing in the dream world, you just stay in that world. And then once you stay in that world, that's your new reality, and then you get birthed into a new body from that reality. Because we all, when we die, we go into our mind. So if you're really on a high frequency path, you can just have a dream and then be living in that dream, doing just like we're doing spiritual work right now. You're going to carry that spiritual work into the dream, and then from that dream, you'll be birthed out into a better body. That's really the best way to die. And so don't let anybody say, oh, we're supposed to die from a health issue. We're supposed to die from that. No, bitch. They think you think that's supposed to be the case because that's happened to so many people. And it's normal. Give me a minute, guys. So yeah, so that's all you're supposed to. You're not supposed to die from any type of health issue. If you die from a health issue, that means you failed. So don't get because every time I talk about health and having to sustain the body, people act like my brother. He was all like, "Oh, you can't live forever." Like, motherfucker, I don't want to live forever. But at the same time, who the fuck wants to die from a health issue? You're not supposed to die from a health issue. So I don't. This is why I had to always reiterate this so you guys can understand. Like, it's nothing to do with living forever or none of that shit. Hell, for you to think that health has something to do with living forever just shows how fucking stupid and how brainwashed people have been because of the system. Health has nothing to do with living forever. You can extend life, but just because you fucking live forever, you can be the healthiest motherfucker in the world. If a person shoots you in the head, nigga, you're gonna die. So what the fuck does health have to do with any of that? So to make it simple, lower your consumption, eat less. And I don't want to just talk about food. I want to talk about more than just food, because consuming less means sex, it means food, it means watching bullshit. Like anytime I feel like anytime you're attracted to something or you get joy from something external, you need to question that and be like, okay, what is this bringing me? And if it's not bringing you anything positive, then that's an addiction that's keeping you down, and you need to get rid of that addiction. Understand that. So this is how you can make it simplify it. Is if something that you're consuming is not bringing you anything and you feel like you need it or you feel like you crave it, then that's an addiction you need to get rid of. And I'm not telling you to just, because like to be this path isn't about struggling and being miserable. This is supposed to be a joyful path. Obviously there's times where you got to go through shit and make sacrifices, but any acts of motherfucking a nigga who opened up a 5-star restaurant, who's a gourmet chef, he had to go through shit and discipline and sacrifice. So that's everything in life. But the whole fundamental basis of breatharianism has nothing to do with just struggling and being. I even tell you guys, like, if it's too hard for you, then this ain't for you. It's supposed to be a joyful path. Don't fucking copy somebody, and because you copy a breatharian, well, I'm not gonna eat. The breatharian's having a time of his life. That nigga's having a better time than you when you're consuming and doing all this shit. Because he doesn't need all that shit. You need the fact that you need all this money, you need all this food. It shows you that you're lacking. It shows you that you're miserable. Like you need this, you need that. Like, why do you need so much shit? I get insecure once I start consuming too much shit. Once I like it's funny how people like, oh, I wish I had money to do this, I wish I had money to do that. And I'm not rich, but like I have money to do a lot more things than I did before. But like I feel like insecure, like, oh, I need my food, I need my this, I need that. If this store doesn't put this product out, and I'm gonna complain, and the price is raised, I'm gonna complain, and like, fuck that. That's weak to me. When I see a person, even when I see a person with money, they're like buying a bunch of shit. I'm like, in my mind, I think like, imagine if I burned all that shit, or if somebody stole all that shit. Imagine how much stress they will be in. Like, I look at a person as weak who needs a lot of shit. Like, I don't like you guys may look at it differently, but I look at a person who's weak because now they're dependent on something external. So now they have to be constantly produce. And there's nothing wrong with working and producing, but you're producing so your addictions and you can have your shit fulfilled, your addictions and desires fulfilled. Whereas you're not working so you can just have a more of abundant spirit. So we this is why I say like we gotta change the way our mind is. Like all this consumption, all this eating, and like not even just like with sex and everything. Like a lot of you niggas like, and the funny thing is a lot of niggas they're addicted to food and sex, but then they don't even get the food and the bitches that they want. So like they're like wasting their time. So like they're dude, somebody will tell me, "Oh nigga, I like to eat. You can't tell me not to eat." But yet, bitch, you can't even afford good food. You gotta eat cheap ass fast food. You gotta go get the meat at Food for Less. You can't go to like the fucking Whole Foods and get the quality meat from the deli. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. So you can't even pass stage one. You can't even meet your desires on a level. You can't even meet your low level desires. So how the fuck you think you're gonna be able to switch over to what I'm doing? Because in order to get from where I'm going, you have to, for not for me, but for you have to at least be contempt of what you've done so far. Like you can't even fucking like if you can't even afford, if you're complaining about the price of food, nigga, it's gonna be hard for you to be breatharian for most people who ain't spiritual because they can't even fucking pay for the bullshit. And they want better shit. So they haven't even tried in their mind, like, oh, who am I going to be breatharian? I can't even barely afford this. I need to eat this. I need to do this. And they want to have so many experiences before they become breatharian. And that's not how this shit works. Like, nigga, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these people ain't shit. That's why I say this world ain't shit. This world is going to hell. And when I say that, don't, I don't want to say this world. This system is going to hell. I'm going to start refraining my what I'm saying. Like, this system is going to hell. This. You have a straw? A straw? Yeah. Yeah. I'll get you some cat food or something. Yeah, what's good with it? Yeah. Yeah, but it's good, bro. I'm just talking to the neighbors and shit. It cool. That's one thing I don't do. I don't let this system get me to the point where I look at everyone as a devil. That's one thing I don't do. And I don't advise you guys to look at everyone like they're a devil. Even though I be speaking like fuck all these, at the end of the day, like you never know. Like there was somebody who came up to me, he was talking to me, he wasn't really spiritual or nothing. And then it's funny because like there was something I needed. Like a few months later, I needed something. And I was able to hit the dude up and he helped me with some shit and like everything worked out good. So like that's why it's good to fucking always because my with my placements in my astrology, like the spirit told me, like it's good for me to negotiate and talk to a lot of people because based upon my energy and like I know how to talk and speak, and so it's like it's good for me to network with people, but I have to keep it on a certain level just so I don't deal with no bitch ass nigga shit. But I realize a lot of shit, like don't just you gotta understand. But fuck man, I'm gonna drop the link if anybody got anything to say. But I forgot what I was saying something before they said something. But yeah, this world we living in though is getting like it's getting this world, the system is getting fucked up. Not this world. This world is different from the system. The system is getting fucking worse. The world is always the world. The world's always been here since day one. So don't fucking think that, oh, the system, or the world. Don't confuse the world with the system. When you see the average dumbass bot just going through it and mentally disturbed and fucking retarded, and you're saying, oh, the world, you got to understand that's the system. That ain't the world. The system is fucked up. As long as the world is good, you straight. The birds, you see the birds? They remember back in 2021 they talk about food shortage, but then you see how right now there's no food shortage because right now it's really not conducive for it. So there may be another one, but if there is, it's gonna be fake. But it's funny how back in the day when it was a food shortage, you didn't hear people talk about fasting, breatharianism, and all that shit. But now it's funny how you see all these people talk about fasting, breatharianism. We don't need to eat as much, and even people who aren't even breatharian are talking about this shit. They're speaking like they are that because it's like we're in a different ship. And you see how a lot of the things that people were worried about, they weren't going to be here no more. And I'm not saying they can't, because like I said, we got a fake ass system going on. So anything, like, they're trying to play God, so they know the real actual God or entity, whatever you want to call it, it's not going to do certain shit. So they have to try to intervene and try to make it happen. Like I told you niggas, like anything that they show you on the news is fake. And if it happens in real life, that means there's some type of man that's trying to make it happen, because they don't have the power of spirituality. They don't have the power of influence with their words and their thought. So they have to physically go out here and make a man burn something, make a man make some type of lie to say that you have to stay in a house. They have to physically do it because they don't have no fucking, they don't have shit but their will and their military and their force. So it's nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with nothing other than a man. That's why even the news, they'll put something on the news. Oh, this is gonna happen. Or they have some stupid nigger on here talking about, oh, the system's gonna come down, celebrities are gonna be exposed. Bitch, you're not exposing the government. You're not exposing anything. You only can expose something if the government has nothing to do with it. Dumbass. If you say, oh, celebrities getting, oh, I told you the celebrities are gonna go to jail and get exposed, bitch. The celebrities is a property of a fucking the Mason and Jew. So you can't tell me shit about a celebrity because they control that fucking narrative. You can't tell me shit about a fake ass system. And oh, I told you, like all these other dumb niggas, like, oh, 2020 is coming, something's gonna happen. And remember, everyone told you 2020 is coming, something's gonna happen. That's all fake, because what happened was Saturn was conjunct Jupiter, which obviously that alignment, something's gonna happen, and then they waited to that alignment and then they did something and everyone predicted it. Because I remember that fucking ugly ass piece of shit, Infinite Waters, that nigga ran his fucking mouth talking about, oh, 2020 is gonna be this and that, but he's a Masonic puppet. So he was supposed to speak that, and all these other fucking spiritual people, even Seven Bomar, stupid fucking nigger ass, I hate that motherfucker. That dumbass nigga's talking about, oh, 2020 is gonna happen. All these niggas. So like when 2020 happened, it was meant to happen on that date. And then before that date, a lot of YouTubers and content creators was force fed that information, and for them to talk about it, like they probably, because like the average content creator, they want to just be successful by any means. So they can have somebody tell them. This is why you see Bandman Kevo. He got fucking Elon Musk and Bill Gates tatted on his fucking thing because somebody told him to do that. And then people looking at Bandman like he's stupid, and he is stupid in one way. He's stupid because he got that shit tatted, but in a way he isn't, because he wants to be the Jewish man's bitch subconsciously without knowing it. So for him, getting that tattoo is the reason why he has a lot of business deals. So this is why, like, Bandman Kevo is the best version of an example of a puppet. This is what, like, a lot of you guys will say, why did he get Elon Musk tatted on him, Bill Gates tatted on him? That's dumb. Why would a black person do that, let alone anybody who fucking despises the system? But you got to understand, like, he has a handler, and everything he does is about money. Everything a person in his shoes does is about money. So when he did that, the people who handle him was like, oh, he's respecting our system. So now when you see Bandman Kevo and you see all these rich people like Wes Watson And he'd be like, I make 16 million a year. That's what that nigga said. And Bam Man Kevo, he's like, he makes like over like he makes $1 million. He said he made $1 million a year just from OnlyFans, not to mention other shit. You got to understand, 50% is from his hard work. I'll even say 30% is his hard work, but the other 70 to 40%, probably even other 80%, that's due to them paving a way and allowing him. They boost his numbers and do whatever because they need to have somebody who's an influence to keep people stuck in this wheel. They can't just have a bunch of fucking masons and politicians who are rich and then nobody that looks like you, because you're gonna really hate this fucking system and tear it up. So they have to have somebody who's like a nigger, and they talk like a nigger and they think like a nigger, like they believe in Jesus Christ and shit. Like they have to have somebody like that. But the thing is, once he starts becoming himself and being himself, then it's gonna be a problem. And then that's when you're gonna see like a P. Diddy scandal or something against him. Or even with Mr. Beast, they were doing it with Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast probably pissed somebody off because Mr. Beast been fucking little girls since the beginning. He molested and he raped a few little girls, Mr. Beast. But they're not going to bring that up unless he really starts speaking out. But the thing is with Mr. Beast, though, he probably did something to piss somebody off. So then they kind of leaked a little bit. So then like now you hear a little bit of stuff about he was with somebody who liked fucking little girls or some shit. And it's because they all like doing that. Because you got to understand, people like Mr. Beast, they come from a sick bloodline of people. Like that's why he's promoted. So he was probably raped, molested, or something happened to him when he was a child. A lot of these Masons, they do that to their children to program them, because do sexual trauma and all that, you can program them. Like, especially if you want to have like an evil dictator, like if a Mason's trying to rule, trying to raise up an evil dictator, they may molest and torture and physically abuse that child when they're young. So as that child becomes older, it has a lot of hatred and anger, and then they'll teach the child or the individual when they get older how to become a dictator. And this is how you see somebody like Stalin, or I don't even know if Hitler existed or some shit, but you see these evil ass people and like they're connected to masonries because they have that. So it's kind of like that with like Mr. Beast and shit. Like that's like he likes to fuck on little girls and all that shit. That's why they're leaking it. So he must have pissed somebody off. So that's the same way they're doing with Bam Man. Bam Man, he's in a good position right now. For at least not a good position, he's in a hell position, but in his mind, he's in a good position. But that's because he's doing everything. He needed to get that tattoo. If he didn't get that tattoo, he probably wouldn't be making as much money as he did. So you guys gotta understand that. Like, why the fuck did Bam Man get a tattoo? How you go from going to the hood in Chicago to getting a tattoo on your motherfucking leg? That makes no sense. The reason for that is because he has a handler. And if you don't believe me, listen to, if you watch Bam Man, any type of financial guru or anybody that tells you to network, and nothing wrong with networking, but they say move to Hollywood, move to Los Angeles. Any of you guys who watch those financial videos, they'll say move to LA, move to Los Angeles, and network. Networking is the biggest thing. I know billionaires. Anybody who's a billionaire is a Masonic handler, and or they have another handler. And if you're talking to somebody who has another handler, their handler is going to tell that person to tell you something. So that's going to be in alignment with their handler. So Bam Man Killer, Kevin, he has a handler. And he doesn't know it because he just thinks it's just some white billionaire that's giving him deals. Because when you have a handler, like this is how they're able to rock his ass to sleep and shit. Because what they will do is they'll put a handler, and you may, how come he can't see it's a handler that's trying to fuck him up? Because they may tell him, hey, put your money in your crypto in this coin, it's gonna go up. And they may even make the coin go up, but they may say, open up this business, do this business project. And then the Masons who control the money system, they make his business flourish. So therefore, he thinks, oh, I'm doing everything right. Because think about it, like even if you look at his class and he teaches people how to get rich, why can't nobody get as rich as him? Why, like, even if his students, he'll be like, oh, my student makes 50 grand a month, but why can't they make the money you're making? 50 grand a month is very little compared to what you're making. It's because they can't, because in order to make that amount of money, you have to be like, you got to have a handler and be in that shit. Once you seen that nigga get Elon Musk and that other fucking Bill Gates tatted on his leg, you know he has somebody recommended. And then people are laughing at him. Oh, nigga, you stupid. But ever since then, watch his money come up. I bet you that nigga would tell you how he got a $3 million contract deal from a business deal that he made. And I'm like, how the fuck he do that? Is because they allowed him to do it. Because remember, the money is fake. It's not real. The only time an economy can crash is if people stop participating in it. Any other time the economy crashes is because another man wants to give you the illusion and play. Like, you got kids that play house, they want to play depression, play economy crash, so then they play it and then they make it go for whatever narrative they want. But the only true way economy can crash is if the average person doesn't want to fucking work. And if you don't believe me, go and watch all these financial gurus. This is one bald-headed ass cracker. All he talks about is fucking the economy crash and the world's gonna end and depression. Bitch, has been depression was supposed to be here back in 2022 when your stupid ass said it. It's 2025 and there ain't no depression yet. So this tells you that that's all fake, because they'll be like, oh, every time I used to watch that nigga's video like years ago, and every time I watch that bald-headed ass nigga, he'll be like, I don't know how people are doing it. I don't know how people are making money. And this nigga has the audacity to be like, oh, the government's blocking me. No, the government's not blocking you, bitch. You got fucking 80,000 views, 50,000 minimum on each video for years, bitch. Ain't nobody blocking you. But this nigga's like, how does everyone have money to spend? And then when I used to watch him, I used to be like, how does everyone have money to spend? The economy's broke. The economy's down. But then I thought about it. I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. They print money. Money is not like fucking water or fucking air or something that's just infinite. Money, well, like, no, I don't want to say infinite, but money is not like air or water, which nature can really stop producing, because nature's in charge of water and resource. So when you see their money fucking up, it has nothing to, it either has to do with people not working, or the ecosystem is not producing. So let's just say crops and fields, over time, if they keep doing GMO, it's going to make the crop and field fuck up. So therefore they will have to raise the price, and that's the only way they can fuck up the money. So that's why I'm like, when this bald-headed ass motherfucking bald-headed buzzard nigga was like, oh, why are people, how do people have money to spend in this economy? Everyone should be broke. That's how he will talk. But bitch, they print money. Just because if there's a issue with money, that's a you issue. That's a community issue. That's not an issue. Like if there was a drought, a drought, then that's a humanity problem, because it don't matter how much money you have, that's a problem. But if it's a financial issue, that's a you issue. That's a community issue. The only reason it could be a humanity issue is if there was a lack of resources, and even if you had money, you wouldn't be able to buy anything because there's no resource. That's a real economy. But that's because I'll be like, they'll be talking about, oh, the economy's gonna crash, the banks are gonna collapse. But then I seen they built a Wells Fargo. Remember I told you guys last year there was a Wells Fargo being built in this city, and somebody burnt nobody knew it was a Wells Fargo, but then it got burned. And then everyone was like, damn, they burned a building. But then once everybody knew it was a Wells Fargo, everybody was like celebrating and laughing. Like all the people I knew and said, oh, it's a Wells Fargo. Everyone was all laughing and shit. They were supposed to open that bank like the middle of last year. They just opened that bank like, I think the end of last year. So like they lost money on that shit. So I was hella happy when they burned that shit down. But then when they were building it, I was like, isn't the banking system supposed to collapse? Why the fuck are they building another Wells Fargo? Why they're still doing construction? There's a fucking high school. There is a huge ass fucking high school. They're adding onto it. I'm like, why the fuck? If the economy's bad, why are they? And I'm like, the economy's fake. It made me realize it's fake. It's not real. And I'm not saying people aren't going broke and don't have money, but anytime you see a single fat ass bitch with kids and she's broke and complaining about inflation and all that shit, it's constructed. It's fake. It's not real. It's a man that wants that to be. Because anytime the Masons want something to be, that means the spirit and all possibility, whatever you want to call it, it's not going to allow that. So they have to use their force and make it happen. This is why they have to put in God we trust on the money. So it's like, it's just crazy. I'm telling you niggas, like, that's why I say, don't be watching these financial channels talking about, oh, the economy collapsing. Don't be watching them. They don't know what the fuck they talking about. They retarded. And I'm not saying the economy can't collapse, but if the economy collapses, it's only for two reasons. The number one reason the economy will collapse is because human beings and people who produce the economy, aka anybody who works a shitty job, particularly a job that's construction, or you're like, I don't know, McDonald's job, but who gives a fuck about that shit? But like somebody that's actually building shit and construction shit to make shit happen, that stops. Or it's a man-made system where a Mason or a Jew, it's like, I want the economy to be down right now because of where we want this narrative to be on how society should be. We want it to be down. So we're gonna fuck with the stocks, fuck with the crypto, doing it. This is why the crypto went up when Trump became president. Like when Trump became president, they made it go up. It's not like it just went up because it's a fucking something on its own volition. Like, you guys are stupid as fuck if you believe that shit. This is why the economy is still doing like normal. And people, even though you see people complaining, go out into the real world. One thing I want to teach you, not teach you, but do this experiment. Anything you see in the internet, go into the real world and actively seek what you see on the internet that's talking about something. So if you see people aren't dating, go out in the real world and see people date. If you see people are struggling with money, go out into the real world. I went to motherfucking Dave and Buster's a few days ago. Shit, the place is weak as fuck. I went there. I haven't been there fucking since probably 2006. I was like, oh, let me go, because like they opened one in the city nearby me, and I was like, let me go. I went. Shit's fucking trash. And fucking, I don't even know what I was talking about. I forgot what I was talking about. I guess fuck. Hold on. Give me a minute, guys. Yeah, I remember I was saying, go into the real world and get real life experience. Don't just go on YouTube, because when you go into the real world, you see how people actually are in the real world. So you may see somebody say, oh, nobody's dating, nobody's doing that. But you go into the real world, you see people dating. People are broke. People don't have money. You go into the real world, you see people have money. Why would you believe people don't have money? Money is fake. Money is printed. Anytime you need money, you just print it from a machine. Last time I checked, there's still trees, there's still resources. So as long as there's resources and there's trees, and nature has it pretty much made this cracker pretty much go through the same fate they have to go through when they lost their trees and they fucking weak ass society. Shout out to Dolo for that information, for dropping that information. Then you're gonna see money still prosper. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna see it still fucking prosper. Once there ain't no more trees and there ain't no more material to purchase money, then you'll see them do something. This is probably why they even doing digital cryptocurrency, because of the research. You see, it's funny how they're doing digital cryptocurrency, because a lot of you guys say, oh, it's digital to control the money, and that probably has a lot to do with it, but it probably has to do with, we're tired of printing money because resources is getting thin. Pretty soon, this atmosphere is going to pretty much make us not be able to print dollar bills no more. Or a dollar bill is going to look, is not going to even look the same because the material is so cheap and weak. Like, who knows? Like, that's what I'm telling you niggas. So that's why I say, anybody that talks about financial collapse is fake, it's bullshit. I'm not saying the financial system cannot collapse. I'm saying if it does collapse, it's because people stop working, which, when the fuck is that gonna happen? People love their shitty, miserable job. Or the government does it deliberately. If those aren't the two reasons, then ain't no economy ever collapsing, because it's fake. Or unless some type of natural disaster that isn't fake, like some fucking hurricane or whatever happens and makes the economy fuck up. Because that's time, because nobody's having kids right now. So as time goes on, you're gonna see the economy change. Not because it's changed because it's supposed to, it's because if there's no kids being born, once, like in the next 20, 30 years, all of us are going to be seniors. And if nobody's having kids, they're going to have to change the economy. This is maybe why they're doing digital currency, AI, and trying to get everybody in virtual reality, because everybody's going to be an old fuck in the next 20, 30, 40 years. So if everybody's old, nobody's going to be able to work on the fields. And even the only people, every time I go to a construction site, I always see old people or people in their 40s or 50s. I don't see no 20-year-olds, no Gen Z, and no construction site. So in the next 20, 30 years, who's going to be building these buildings? This is why they have AI, because they know ain't no Gen Z. No Gen Z wants to be no fucking construction worker. And the ones that do is very small. No Gen Z wants to be a fucking trucker. Everyone wants to be on TikTok making videos and just being fucking lazy and having people respect their nothingness, because they ain't shit. Like, you have Gen Z, oh, I want to make money off jail. Don't get me wrong. I understand a lot of you guys want to make money off YouTube and shit. But then I be seeing some of these Gen Z and some of these people, not even just Gen Z, but some of these people, I want to make money off YouTube and quit my job. And then I'm looking at like, bitch, you need to work at that job. The way you fix that hamburger is way more valuable than you going on YouTube because you're a fucking idiot. You're stupid. So you fixing that steak at that diner, you're producing more for society than you going on the internet and showing people your creative ability because you ain't got no fucking creative ability because you're a fucking dumbass bot. Stay your ass in the kitchen. And even if you did quit, your new occupation would just be a fucking bitch ass complaining ass nigga with no fucking creative ability. That'll be your new occupation. That's what I'm telling you niggas. Like, you guys gotta really wake the fuck up. Well, you guys already ain't nobody gotta wake the fuck up, to be honest. Like, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. I just say that I just said that because I want to say it, and this sounds good. I just needed something to say at that time, so I just said we gotta wake the fuck up. See, I be breaking. I'm real to you niggas. I don't really give a fuck if you wake up. I just say that shit so I can have something to say, nigga. Wait, we gotta wake the fuck up. It sounds good. You nigga preaching after he's done with his preach. We gotta wake up. This sounds good, but I didn't say it because we gotta wake up. I just said it because it sounds good. I'm gonna drop the link if anybody wants. If you guys disagree with me, anything, that one troll ass bitch ass nigga, I'm not gonna name your name. If you have a problem with me, I'll leave the link in every live stream. Well, you never joined the live stream. You never. Motherfucker made a fucking a video about me talking about I need to be removed from YouTube. I'm not even gonna name his name. I'm not even gonna give you any attention. I know you were in my chat. That was that same bitch ass nigga trolling in my chat. And I'm not gonna give your channel a shout out, nigga. Fuck you. Motherfucker talk about, oh, I need to be removed. And you bring up some old video. This nigga brought up a video from 2021. Nigga, fuck you. I don't gotta explain myself to you, nigga. I did what I did because I fucking felt like it. I don't give a fuck what the fuck I did. Anything I did, there's even like I'm trying to be a breatharian right now. There was times I fucking was eating cinnamon buns and pizza and shit I don't like years ago. I'm not gonna explain myself, nigga. At that time, it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So just and not right now, I won't do that because that's just disgusting and it's nasty, and I'm not gonna do it. So I don't regret anything I did. So whatever you say I did, nigga, I did it, and I don't give a fuck, bitch ass nigga, stupid ass nigga. And it's funny because all the information that I have, you can tell he doesn't even take the advice of the information. Because when I can see like the nigga who was watching me, I could tell he used to fuck with my channel. Because how he was all talking about, this nigga went back to 2021. I fucking removed that video. I removed that video because that video, when they blocked my channel back in April of last year and they started playing games, I removed that video just in case. It was a video. I'm not going to say what I did in it, but I removed it. And then this nigga makes a video 10 days ago or like 2 weeks from now, because it was like a few days when I said it. So it's probably like 2 weeks. With that same video, I privated back in April. So you must be really heavily invested. That means you've been watching my channel since before then, and you were able to watch the video and then clip it and save it. Because I blocked that video around April, May of last year when they were fucking with my channel. I was like, I didn't want them to. I even did a channel when I was pissing in 7-Eleven. I was like, let me block all this shit so they don't come back and block. Because I don't give a fuck about this damn channel anymore. I really don't. And it's funny how, like, as I stopped giving a fuck about this channel, like, I wasn't getting the attacks as I was getting before. Like, so because if they remove the channel, I don't really give a fuck. Like, I'm at a point where I don't care about this channel because I understand what YouTube is. Before, when I did care, I thought I didn't really understand what YouTube was, but now I know if YouTube is a federal platform. So, like, I actually am gonna talk my shit, and if they remove my channel, I don't give a fuck because I have a bound of knowledge and information, so I can just run my fucking mouth and I can start my channel from ground one. I'm not like somebody like DJ Academics or somebody who's like one of these other content creators who they have to research and they have to get everything synchronized to get content. Like, content just comes to me naturally. I can just run my fucking mouth and still people like my shit. I don't need to get, so I'm nothing lost here, nigga. And a lot of the shit that I was speaking, I don't even fucking agree with. The only reason I'll keep the shit up was just so I could have more shit in the algorithm to push my shit out, if anything. Like, because I don't even agree with a lot of shit I was saying, like back in 2021. But man, I gotta take a fucking piss. Give me a minute, guys. It's a nice ass day today. So I dropped the link. If you're that troll, if you want to come in here and say what you gotta say. You made a YouTube video about me, which that's kind of stupid, but come say what you gotta say, nigga. Like, people are just so fucking retarded. Like, people are the one thing I realized, people on the internet ain't shit, because you have people on here trolling on YouTube, but then when it comes to real life, like, I'm not gonna name the name, but there's just two niggas that are beefing on YouTube, right? I'm not even gonna name their names. I'm sure some of you guys know who I'm talking about when I tell you the story. This nigga said these two niggas is beefing on YouTube. I'm not gonna name their names, but they beefing, and one nigga's like, meet me on June 9th and come see me in my hood or whatever. And these are small YouTubers, they're not like no big channel. Like, come see me. And this nigga is who was like, oh, I'm gonna come see you, nigga. No, actually, first, the nigga who he told to come see him, he's the one who instigated it. Wait, no. So the nigga's like, there's two niggas, right? One nigga was like, nigga, you a bitch. I'm gonna come fuck you up. I'm gonna come see you. And then the other nigga was like, all right, come see me. And then they made a certain date. The other dude made a date. They both made a date. When that date came, the nigga who the dude antagonized was like, I'm here. And he went live saying, I'm walking around your street. I'm walking around the street you said you're gonna pull up on. And this nigga, his energy was high. And the nigga didn't show up. After, fast forward till now, ever since that day happened, that nigga still running his mouth saying that, nigga, you a bitch, you ain't about shit. And then he's like, oh, my women, my female is the reason why I didn't fucking hit you up. But that don't make no fucking sense, because if you a real hood nigga like you say you did, there's niggas grandma tell them to stay out the streets and don't shoot that nigga's house up. Niggas still say, fuck you, grandma, I'm gonna go do my thing. So you listen to some fat ass disgusting bitch that you got like listen to what she gotta say. What the fuck she gotta say? She don't know shit. So this is why I say a lot of the niggas on here, they're all talk. They're not really about nothing, really. Because in reality, even when I see niggas who like, they don't really want to, like, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Niggas all talk on this fucking platform. Niggas all talk on this fucking platform. And that's why I don't even really deal with no one. That's why I don't like to mention people's names, shout outs, or nothing. Like, the way I look at it, and if you have a content creation channel, or if you want to be a content creator, make a channel, make a content, a channel, and be yourself. And anybody who comes to your channel, I'm not saying they're your tribe, but they're more your tribe than somebody else. So if you make a YouTube channel and you talking your truth and people fuck with you, I will give them the benefit of the doubt on taking a chance with a tribe than anybody else out there, unless you're talking with somebody who's you gotta build and make money with and shit. And even the people on your page, you don't always just have to be building money, because at the end of the day, if you have a page and you have, so like, people be like, oh, I got a bunch of dumbass people watching my channel. Why are you gonna disrespect your audience by calling them dumb? If somebody's watching my channel and they don't know about health and wellness and spirituality or whatever, I'm not calling them dumb. They came to my channel to learn. So I'm not gonna call them dumb. I'm not gonna be like, oh, they need to do this. No, they came to my channel to learn. Niggas like, oh, dumb are people who think they know everything, or who they think what my information is stupid. They don't want to hear me out. That's who I call fucking dumb. Not somebody who comes on my page and they may ask a question that, no, they try to learn and get their knowledge up. If they watch my page for a year or two, who knows? They may not be stupid as they were. So you got to understand that shit. Kind of forgot my point though. Well, yeah, most niggas, they ain't shit in this fucking platform. This is all talk, and I realize that everybody just all talk. Ain't nobody got to do nothing. Most people are pussy and scared, and anybody who will do something and risk, that's a person who has nothing to lose, really. So nigga be like when you see an average man out here or a nigga that's like, oh, you ain't shit, you ain't about nothing. That nigga is a pussy because if you were to go, because they're speaking based upon you thinking this is some high school shit. Oh, you a bitch, nigga, and then they want you to just go and chunk it out and fight. But like if you went and shot that nigga's fucking girl's house, his bitch's house up, his BM's house up, or you went and you did some real gangster shit, they're gonna call the police. Or if they don't call the police, their neighbors or their family member gonna call the police, and then they won't even influence their neighbors to not call the police, like real niggas do. The real niggas will be like, "Oh no, we're gonna handle it." So this is why I say it's all bullshit. Don't even get yourself in any beef at all, because if you get yourself in, and don't even deal with females that are into that. Like if you ever meet a female that's a witch or bruja or into that spirituality, do not date them, because a lot of these females, they have all this. First of all, if you're really powerful, they magic ain't gonna work on you. But the thing is, though, if somehow they're able to send work your way and then attack you, like for me, if I was dating a female who was into that and she sent work my way, and let's just say it hit and something went in my life, like it has to. When I say hit, it has to do something very drastic to me. At that point, nigga, because a lot of people, they think you're playing. They think, oh, nigga, I'm gonna send you spiritual work. Like, nigga, I'm not a type of person who's gonna fight spiritual. Like, if I see you and you do something to be drastic, I'm gonna go down to where you live at and I'm gonna fucking kill you. This is why I tell you guys, if you guys want to practice sending negative work, sending energy, do not tell people where you live, because you don't know who you fucking with. Some people, they don't play that shit. They'll just go and kill. If I seen somebody and I knew that person, if somebody told me I'm gonna send death your way, and then they sent death, and then somebody I knew passed away, if I knew where they lived, I'm getting a knife. If I don't have a gun, I'm gonna get a knife, and I'm gonna find them walking out of a grocery store or out of a public place, and I'm gonna chop their fucking head off in the middle of the street. Like, cause I'm gonna go and like you guys know, I'm spiritual and physical. I'm not just spiritual. So a lot of these fucking spiritualists out here, a lot of these dumbass Oshun niggers and all these fucking voodoo bitches, they think that everybody is just spiritual, nigga. No, like, don't get me wrong, I'm spiritual, but sometimes I value the physical more than spiritual, especially when it comes to killing somebody. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and send some work you. If I know where you live at and you did something to piss me off, I'm not saying like, oh, you just did something like fucking. I'm saying like something drastic where somebody died or somebody got hurt. I'm fine. And I know where you stay, nigga. You're gonna get your head chopped the fuck off. I don't care about shit at that fucking point. You fucking idiot. Dumbass. That's why you got to be careful. Don't be just dating females who any female that says they into Wiccan or spirituality. I'm not dating you, because those are the bitches where you break up with, or if they think you're cheating, they're gonna send work your way. And nigga, bitch, you don't send work my way, because if you send work my way and it hits, then I'm gonna end up having to kill you or do something physically to you. I'm not playing. I don't play that back and forth shit. That's why I tell you guys, if you guys gotta if you're gonna send negative work, do not tell people who you are, because you don't know who you're dealing with. People been on YouTube so long they forget. Some people don't give a shit. Remember, there's a word called crash out. There's a word called crash out for a reason. That word wasn't just invented. It's because you push somebody to the limit, they're gonna go on that fucking point and they're gonna kill you. And at that point, you may be like, oh, nigga, you ain't about to do shit. That's what I told you guys. I did a bitch in Oakland. She was running her mouth talking about this nigga, making fun of that nigga dying and whatever. And I don't give a fuck about a nigga dying, but the way she was doing it was doing too much. And then she's like, what she said was they ain't about to do shit. And then what happened was that bitch got her ass aired the fuck out in front of her fucking beauty shop. So like that's what I'm saying. You don't want anybody to be in that type of situation. That's why you got to be careful what you like. That's why I say don't fuck with none of these danky ass, raggedy ass bitches and these niggas. They're gonna get you fucked up. But yeah, guys, I'm just trying to might end this live stream real soon. Ain't nobody want to join. A bitch ass nigga. I don't know why you don't join the room. I don't know why you don't join the room. That nigga was talking about how his daughter's boyfriend's in jail and how she was asking him for money to bail him out. He's like, hell no. Nah. That's fucking hilarious. People be going through the most funniest shit ever. That's what I be seeing. Like people be going. It's so funny how a lot of these niggas be thinking like, oh, like you'll think spiritual people are so dumb sometimes. Like if you listen to so many spiritual people, you will think that people that are bots are somehow special and go through easier lives than people who are spiritual. Like if you watch enough spiritual people, you will probably believe that spiritual people's lives are harder than bots, not understanding that nigga, it's the same. I see bots all the time, like talk about, oh, I got ran over and this, I was beaten with a bottle. This bitch was talking about how she was beaten with a bottle. She was drunk as fuck, just talking like she was like one of those drunk bitches. Like I was beat with a bottle and raped, and like a lot of these bots, they be going through it worse because when you're a bot, you're stupid. You don't have awareness. A lot of you guys, if a situation was presented in front of you, you would take certain actions based upon you watching my video and the information I gave to you. But there's some bots, if a situation was presented in front of them, they may not take the same action, therefore creating hell in their life. Like they end up getting shot, beaten, or ran over. But you guys look at it like, oh, they got ran over. Like my mom, she called me talking about the fucking fires and shit, talking about, oh, the fires. And then I'm like, why are you talking to me about this shit? I don't really give a fuck. I told her that I don't care. Don't talk to me about that. And then she's like, oh, the only reason I said that because I can relate, because when we were young, we had our fire. We had a fire in our house because back in 2000 we had a house fire. But at the same time, nigga, like I told her, no, we don't relate to them because first of all, bitch, well, I didn't call her the bitch. I didn't call her the bitch. I'm so used to speaking. I'm so used. I don't mean I never call her that word or nothing. I'm just so used to speaking like this. That's why I say it. Like, because I call people bitch in real life all the time. I never call my mother that. It just I'm so used to calling people the B word in real. I don't just say I just speak about the B word. I'm talking about in real life. Like I'll be talking to a lady in real life, and then she's coming to, I'll say, you bitch, get this shit right. I always say bitch. So I never call my mother a B word in my life, but I'm just so used to like saying that when it comes to females in terms of talking to you guys. So I was like, no, mother, like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't relate to them. First of all, we had insurance and we got brand new shit and our house painted and everything from that. Secondly, I'm not identifying my spirit and my human soul with a fucking house fire. Like I can give a shit about that. So I don't relate to them, and don't ever say that again. I say don't say that because we don't relate to them. Your house isn't burned down right now. Nothing happened to you. That what they happen to them is some other shit. And even if you want to say, oh yeah, their house burned down and theirs burned down, their shit burned down because of government intervention, some government shit. But sometimes I be thinking like I don't know, like because I don't know, like it's weird. Because I remember she used to work at a fucking lab. And I remember she told me something back in the day, like, because you worked at the fucking like like the place where they build like all the weaponry. Like when you see war, when you guys see war, like Iraq and Ukraine, and how they have missiles and bombs, where they make that shit at, she worked at that. She worked at the lab. So where they make weaponry and chemical weapons and all that shit for war to kill people, she worked at that place. And every year there'll be protests telling people to protest in front of her job, telling her not to work there and shit no more. So it's funny because I remember she told me that she was in a parking lot and somebody was there and they got like it was, I guess somebody got their ass beat and it was like another coworker, but it wasn't like some regular beating. It was like they got their ass beat because they were opening their mouth because like it's some weird shit going on. So I don't know, like it's some crazy shit. I don't know where I was going with this. Like that was, yeah, I was like, we don't relate. Like they were talking about she was talking about the fire and shit. I was like, nigga, like, why are you talking to me about the fire? Hey, I don't. That's not gonna pour. Like, are you gonna help them? Is there some type of like coalition or something coming up where all the people who realize the fire was from the government, they're coming together to stop it? Or If that ain't the case, nigga, shut the fuck up about the government. Like, for real. Like, shut the fuck up about the government, or shut the fuck up about the fires. And to be honest, shut the fuck up about the government too. I don't care about what the government's doing. Like, for real. Like, it's to a point right now. Like, I don't even give a fuck about what anybody got to say really about the government at this point. Like, nobody really got shit to say. Like, if I'm gonna watch anybody's channel about the government, it'd be Dolo's channel. He's the only person who breaks down what the government's doing. Everybody else, nigga, they're not talking shit. If anything, I kind of think the government likes any channel but his when they talk about them, because they don't know what the fuck they talking about. And I don't give a fuck about the government. I just talk to you guys of what I assume and think they doing. I can give a shit if it's right or wrong. I can give a fuck. It's fucked up. But like, if I'm gonna watch anything, like, it's to a point where I don't even watch anybody on YouTube really when they talk about spirituality, except for a handful of channels, like few channels. There's like no point at this point. Like, unless I'm trying to be entertained off YouTube, there's no point. I can't even be on YouTube. I was on YouTube the other day. There was nothing for me to watch. I get more entertained watching beef at this point. Like, unless I'm watching some spiritual shit from like a handful of content creators. Like, if they didn't fucking release no videos, I would rather not even be on YouTube, or I'll just watch beef and some bullshit like that. I think that besides spirituality content, real spiritual, the only thing entertaining on YouTube besides spiritual content is beef. Like, when I see two content creators beefing, that's just entertaining. If it's not that, then I have to watch spiritual content. And there's no spiritual content other than mine and a few other handful of channels. Dolo including one of them. And other than that, there's nothing to watch on YouTube but beef and other content creators fight. Like, if DJ Academics had like beef with fucking what's that nigga's name with fucking Marge Simpson tatted on his face? No Jumper. If it was like a beef between No Jumper and DJ Academics, and they were at each other's neck and they were fighting, and it was getting very negative and they were sending people, I will watch that beef. That's the only time I ever go on a rapper's channel, if it's about beef. Or if it's about like DJ Academics. I never watch DJ Academics unless he's beefing with somebody, or like he's getting exposed, like they had that rape shit. Then I watch this channel. Or like, if I like The Rock, I don't fuck with The Rock. I hate The Rock, or I hate fucking Kevin Hart. But if he got a scandal, I'm gonna watch that shit. The only scandal I didn't watch was P. Diddy. Like, my spirit was like, don't even watch this shit. I didn't even have the urge to watch anything about P. Diddy for some reason. I don't know. Like, that's like the first scandal ever that like any, like, like drama and beef, like, you kind of entertaining some of it. The P. Diddy shit was the first and only scandal I'd never even fuck with. I didn't even watch. Like, my spirit was just telling. When I say my spirit told me, not like my spirit's like, don't watch it. When I say my spirit told me, I'm just saying I had the fucking feeling and intuition to don't fucking watch it. So that's how the spirit talks to me. When I say the spirit told me, it's not like a spirit said, oh, don't do this. I felt like not doing it, and then I didn't do it, and then me not doing it had a good result, and then that's the spirit talking to me. The spirit doesn't talk in words and shit. It talks in action. Shit's crazy. And it's funny because out of the other beef that I watch, they don't really promote it. But then like P. Diddy beef, they were promoting that shit like it was an advertisement. I'm like, God damn, like, get off this nigga's fucking nuts. It's like, okay, if you're like, well, he did all these bad things. I'm like, didn't fucking Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and every fucking cracker that you see in a suit and tie, didn't they do like 10 times worse than him, if not half of what he did? Why aren't you hating on him? Like, nigga, the fuck? That's what made me realize, like, that shit all bullshit. Like, they're talking about, oh, P. Diddy did this. And I'm like, because the first time I seen that P. Diddy shit, I was like, what about the dude who signed P. Diddy's check? What about the dude who put P. Diddy on back in the 90s or the 80s, whenever he was flourishing? Like, what about him and his team? Like, did he do what P. Diddy did? Like, if P. Diddy was human trafficking, did he sell some of his clients? Didn't he have clients? And who were his clients? Were they some of those people Masons? Or like it made me kind of think like, okay, if that's the case, I don't need to pay attention to it. It's not important. Like, I'm the type of nigga where like I remember I had to watch over my cousins a few years ago, and he had his friend over, and then he's like, oh, he went into the refrigerator, and because I told him don't go in the refrigerator, the nigga went into the refrigerator, and then when he went in the refrigerator, I went and got my cousin some food from the refrigerator, and then one of the other nigga who snitched, I'm like, nigga, you ain't getting shit. Why you snitching? Nigga, like, the fuck? I bet you want some food too. But yeah, he went to go get some food. You want to snitch, nigga? I don't like snitching. If I would have caught my cousin doing it in person, I would have been like, you know what, fuck you. You ain't getting no food. That's why I'm like, that's why I don't like motherfuckers like who snitch and shit. That's why I'm like, I fucking hate a motherfucker snitch. Like, especially if you snitching too, nigga, fuck you. It's just crazy. Yeah. Come on. What's good? All right, my guys. I'm about to end this live stream. My fucking phone ran out of batteries. And I'm just chilling right now. But I'm gonna end this live stream, guys. Peace.